John 14:27 says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." And this is Jesus talking to his disciples, basically preparing them for what's about to come. The fact that he's going to die and go through all this suffering. He's going to rise again, but then he is going to leave this earth. He previously talks about that the Holy Spirit is going to come and be an advocate for them. Jesus is very specific as to the kind of peace that he's talking about. He's not talking about just everything is okay, we're good, life is good. He's talking about peace that there is a stillness even in the midst of trial. There's a stillness even in the midst of turmoil. There's a stillness even when the situation is not calm. We confuse peace and quietness. Quietness is external. Quietness is just the lack of sound, but peace is something internal. There's something on the inside of us that knows that we know that we know that everything is going to be all right because we know the one who gives peace. We know the Prince of Peace. It reminds me of the story of Horatio Spafford, where he was going to see his friend and he sends his wife and 4 daughters over on the ship to cross the ocean, and come to find out, he gets a telegram from his wife that says saved alone. His daughters were killed in a shipwreck, and he goes back to his room and he is able to say, "It is well with my soul." And he writes one of the most famous hymns. He writes a song that starts, "When peace like a river attend my way, when sorrow like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast caused me to say, it is well with my soul." And I wonder sometimes if we can say those things. Whatever my lot, thou hast caused me to say. Whatever I'm going through, I can say it is well. Whatever I'm experiencing, it is well. The job loss, it is well. The miscarriage, it is well. The divorce, it is well. The bankruptcy, it is well. The rejection, it is well. I think about how sometimes peace has to be fought for. Sometimes you have to get things out of your life in order to protect your peace. I think about the story where Jairus goes to Jesus and he says, "My daughter, my only daughter is dying." And Jesus goes and the people are wailing and making all kind of noise. And Jesus says, what's all this ruckus? She's not dead, she's asleep. And they laugh at him. And he chooses to send them out like JoJo. Get out right now. And he then performs a miracle so the little girl is brought to life. Sometimes you got to get rid of things, get rid of people, get rid of clutter, get rid of stuff to keep your peace no matter what is going on. Know that you have the peace of God. Jesus says, "I leave it to you. I give it to you. It is to remain with you." Receive the peace of God, the peace that Paul talks about in Philippians 4 when it says, "Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything pray and petition, and the peace of God that makes no sense is what guards your heart and mind." It guards your heart and mind. Be filled with the Spirit of God today so that his peace can be made manifest in your life. Be filled with the Spirit of God today so that you can walk in peace no matter what is going on. You can walk in wholeness no matter what's going on. You can walk in authority and in a calm confidence so that you do not need to be afraid. He says, "Let not your hearts be troubled." That word trouble is like it's being stirred up. It's stirred up. And sometimes we allow things to stir us up. We allow people to stir us up. We allow a comment. We allow the news to stir us up. And God is like, no. Jesus is like, no. Don't let things stir you up. And I want to encourage you. Remember that in times of turmoil, in times of just hardship, that you have been equipped with the Holy Spirit who gives you peace. Remember that you don't have to respond like everybody else responds. It doesn't mean you don't have the feeling, but it means at the end of the day, you know, and you have an assurance that God is on your side. You have an assurance that God is going to work things out. You have an assurance that even though what's going on doesn't make sense to you, that it doesn't have to make sense to you. That in your heart, you have a calm, you have a confidence, knowing that the Prince of Peace has given you peace and that He is going to work things out for the good.